I'm Faith Bautista. Welcome to Owning a Piece of America. It's about that time. We need to have the talk. Nope, not that talk about the birds and the bees. There comes a time when you need to sit down and seriously have the money talk. And I'm doing just that with my guest today. He's an expert in money management. He's the President and Chief Compliance Officer of KIS Fee Only. Financial planning that's vision is to leave a legacy of financially independent individuals and families that are able to give generously and retire comfortably. Welcome to Owning a Piece of America, Jason.
Thank you, Faith.
So Jason, this is the hardest part of people changing of behavior, trying to make money, saving money. I see this all the time. Yes, I would love to save money, but there's no money to save. So can you tell me what you really do and how do you advise people?
It's a great question, Faith, and thank you for asking it. So the biggest challenge of what I do, like you mentioned, is getting people to want to save money and want to plan for their future. I think a lot of people, when you sit down with them, they just sometimes don't believe that they can do it, that they can actually build wealth if they had a plan and really focused on it long term. I think month to month, sometimes people feel that there is no extra money, like you mentioned. But what I've come to find out is when you really sit down and you dig into the details of the numbers and you sit with people, a lot of times you can find enough money so that people can retire with dignity and they can give generously. And so a big part of it is making that first decision to say that they want to do it and then starting from there and getting the right plan in place.
So just like going from one place to another, you have to have that GPS, step by step, right?
Yeah, yes. Nothing great was ever created without a plan. So this stuff, it doesn't happen just by hoping and wishing. You have to create a plan and a destination. And then once you get that destination, then you have to work your way backwards and create the steps just like you would, like you mentioned on a GPS or a Google Map direction. So,
right. So Jason, do you believe that you cannot do this alone? I mean, this is, I think, what you really do. If you can elaborate on that, I mean, yes, now you have a plan. How are you going to make sure that the plan will be accomplished?
So can some people do it alone? Sure, but can the majority of people? I truly believe they do need some sort of coach, mentor, someone to help guide them, someone to help them when they get stuck and they have questions. And so that's part of what I do is we help them create a plan and then we're there to support and guide and coach along the way and make the corrections, because plans are always going to change because life happens, but we want to be there to help you make the right decisions when those things do happen.
So let's give an example then. What are the do's and don'ts of credit cards?
Okay. Well, the first thing I want to say is it is not a requirement to live in America that you must have a credit card. But
well, it's the way to improve your credit, though, because without a credit scoring, you cannot purchase anything. I mean, it's like this is who you are through the credit score. So they always say apply for a credit card, especially for the young students. Let's talk about that.
Sure. It is part of the system in America where credit score does have a huge impact on a lot of potential areas of your life. So some of the things you do want to consider when you are using a credit card is that, well, one thing you don't want to do is make sure you carry a balance month to month. You can actually pay off that credit card in full each month and still build your credit score as you would if you carried a balance. I've heard a lot of mythology around this, and you don't need to pay all these extra fees and interest necessarily to build a credit score.
But according to the credit score, Jason, though, you should leave at least 10% of the balance, and that way the FICO score sees your behavior of paying it. But if you pay it off, then they don't see the record of your practicing of paying.
So let me think about it this way. So say your cycle ends on the 7th of the month. Well, the FICO is going to close at the end of the month. So they will see whatever's on that bureau. But if your cycle ends on the 7th within that 28 days and you pay it off in full before then, you won't have to pay any interest. So doing that over a long period of time, you can pay zero interest and still build a credit score. But in general, there is recommendations for people to carry some sort of small balance on there, but it's not 100% necessary.
So is there really such a free money?
Well, most times the best things in life are not free, but there are some great programs. For example, in California, for home buyers, there are some great home buyer assistance programs that if you do some of the things that we teach and we talk about, and you're able to save up a certain amount of money and you qualify for these programs, there are programs that will actually match your down payment 1-to-1 or sometimes even 3-to-1. Is it free money? It can be if you meet the certain qualifications. Like, for example, there are certain programs in certain neighborhoods that want to increase home ownership, and if you stay in your home for about 5 years, then they will forgive that. And so, again, you want to work with an expert on this particular subject. So could that be free money? Yes, but in general, I would not recommend going around signing up for everything that says get free money and sign your name
That's true.
here.
Like the down payment assistance, if you
Yeah.
live there more than 2
Yeah.
years, it's really free. So there's,
Yeah.
you're right. There's some
Yeah.
such free money, but
Yeah.
they're not going to give that to you if you're not financially educated as well.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah. And then,
yes, yeah.
next, when we come back after commercial, let's talk about students' loans and how you can really pay that off. So we have to take a quick break. When we come back, find out what the #1 cause of divorce in America is and what Jason and his company are doing to help solve the problem. Keep it here. You're watching Owning a Piece of America.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Why are homeowners talking about counselors from
NAAC?
Well, because through NAAC and with the help of Faith Bautista, I'm now able to have a piece of America.
As a housing counselor, I will help you budget and get a clear picture of your finances.
I will help you understand your credit report and help you improve your score.
I will help you through your hardship and work with your lender to get a loan modification.
For free housing counseling, call 1-800-920-6248.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back. You're watching Owning a Piece of America, and we'll be back again here with Jason Hamilton, and let's talk about what's the biggest mistake young people make, what is the biggest myth about money, what are the do's and don'ts. So let's talk about that.
Okay. So let's talk about the biggest mistake first young people are making right now. Faith, I truly believe we're facing a crisis right now. And that crisis is called student loan debt. Last I looked, it's over $1.3 trillion that's owed in this country by students. And the average is about $32,000. What really concerns me is I speak to young people, and having 6 figures in student loan debt has almost became, I don't want to say normal, but they're comfortable with it and they feel that it's necessary to go to school and get this. So what I want to do is really enforce on people that find a way to get school paid for. There's so many programs out there that you can do. You can start with 2 years at junior college. And if you work the whole time that you're there, you save money. And you transfer to, there's so many great 4-year skills that would take you as a transfer. The better grades you get, the more chance you have for scholarships. And if you work while you're there as well, which is actually correlated with higher grades, working 15 to 20 hours a week while you're in school, you can get out of school debt free. And it's not only just the money factor, Faith. This is the thing, is that if you have this huge student loan payment on your back, you almost have to be obligated to take the job that necessarily pays you the most. I'm not saying that's always bad, but this is the thing. There's so many great companies out there that will offer mentorship programs, that offer internship programs, that offer ways for you to get a lot more experience and get a lot more decision making at much higher levels than you would at some of the highest paying jobs. And while you're young, that's your best time to take advantage of your time and really grow as much as you can. 22 to 25, I recommend people just find a great company no matter what the pay and find a way to just get mentors and get involved. And by not having a huge student loan payment on their back, it gives them a lot more opportunities to do that.
I agree with you. I have my 2 girls, and we made sure that they're not going to have any student loan.
Congratulations.
We as a
Great job.
parents, we save the money for them, and we also put them in a community college, and they transfer to a university.
There you go.
But for those people that are not using the right GPS, and they have this debt, what can you advise to pay off that debt?
Yeah. So you're speaking of people that are already in debt and are getting out of school.
Right, because there's plenty, like you said, 1.3 trillion debts
Yeah.
right there. So
Yeah.
let's give them advice. How do you pay that debt?
So the first thing you got to do is realize that it's there. I think a lot of people see the minimum payments they have to make, and sometimes it's $150. And so they look at it like it's a cell phone bill or a gym membership. They don't take it too seriously. So they need to realize how serious this is and how long this debt will be around if they don't address it immediately. So the first thing I do is I recommend that they really look at their whole situation. Most of the time, student loans are not just one single debt, unless it's been consolidated. A lot of times it's a bunch of little debts. So what I usually recommend is that people actually line up all their debts and see exactly what they have and just start working on that little one. Make your minimum payments everywhere else and just start working on that little one and start seeing some progress.
But also, I think, Jason, if you are working for a nonprofit, this is what I was told, you work for a nonprofit, eventually your student debt get waived. Is that correct?
It definitely can be. And if you serve low-income neighborhoods and things like that, if you're a teacher or if you're a doctor and you go to a highly underserved area, absolutely. But this is the thing, Faith. A lot of times those are 10 years. A lot of times they're 10 years out. And this is the thing, that program was initiated, now we're just coming up on when people would actually be qualifying for that in 2017. So we don't really know if that's actually going to come through 100% of the way. And this is the thing too. What if they get another opportunity at another nonprofit or another for-profit that is better for them?
That's true.
And then they don't qualify for that anymore.
Right,
So
okay. Can you just give an example to our viewers? I know you've helped somebody that has a debt of like 60,000 in a year and a half. She was able to pay it off.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Okay. So here's a real life example. I have someone that I know that was still in college. They did 2 years, but then they transferred to a private university. Well, they were trying to do the right thing and working while they're in school, and unfortunately they made too much to qualify for too many grants and loans. So what happened is they actually had to pay for that school. And since they were already in it, their choices they felt were limited, and so they ended up taking on about over $50,000 in student loan. So the conversations we had were, you need to start addressing this now. So what this particular person did is they started working while they're in school. They sold cupcakes, at church on the weekends. They got a second job. They had a primary job. They went crazy. They sold things online. They did everything they could. And she paid over $54,000 off in a year and a half. And within 2 months, she's going to be completely debt-free, less than a year out of college. So it is possible, is the point of that.
The only thing is no more partying for them then.
Well, the parties become a little different. The parties are hanging out at home or hanging out at the beach, not going out and spending $200, like some people do on a bar tab. Yes.
Because, you're right, Jason. You can party all you want now.
Yeah.
You will pay for it.
Yeah.
The younger you plan your life, the younger you make money, the younger you save money, the power of the compound interest, right?
It's
but can you
huge.
just give an example? For example, my daughter who's 24 years old and starts saving money now for like $100 a month. How much would that be when she retires at the age of 67?
Well, it depends on return, right? But if she just started with at least getting the match, this is what I always recommend. If you're working for a company, at least get the match in your 401k. So that you may be putting $100 per paycheck or $200, but you may get that doubled. So that's an immediate 100% return right there. So that's going to be a tax deferred return. You won't pay taxes on it now. And $400, if you were to put that in over, say, a 40-year career, you're probably looking at anywhere between $1.2 and $1.5 million. And that's if you never get a raise. So as you are putting in that percentage, because you put in a percentage, say 5%, and if you get it matched at 5, well, if you get a raise every single year, it's going to be a little bit more going in. So you're not only going to put in 400, that's going to go in over time. Another great thing to do, if they get a raise each year and you're used to living at a certain lifestyle, put in half of that raise to their 401k or even to a Roth IRA, which will be a tax-free growth. As soon as they retire at 59 and a half, they can actually take that money out.
Boy, so in 10 seconds though, if you are drowning in debt right now, what would you do right away?
First thing I would tell people, make a plan, make some decisions that you're going to change your behaviors and get the help that you need because there's plenty of it out there.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I can talk to you more for an hour. This is very, very important. Thank you for watching Owning a Piece of America. My name is Faith Bautista. Owning a Piece of America presents Lifestyle with Asian Journal.
I'm on a special assignment today. I'm looking for one of the top placers of this show called I Love OPM. I was told to meet him here at Seaport Village in San Diego. Let me see. Excuse me. Are you Ryan Gallagher?
Oo.
Ikaw?
Oo.
Ikaw si Ryan
Oo.
Gallagher? Oh, kumusta?
Okay lang, ikaw. Okay lang?
Wait. Is this real? Are you speaking in Tagalog?
Siyempre, dapat lang. Of course.
Wait, you have to tell me this story. Wait, you're
Okay.
not Filipino, are you?
No, I'm not Filipino. Polish-Irish lang. My mother's Polish.
Yeah.
And my father's Irish. But Filipino in heart.
Filipino
Puso
in
lang.
heart?
Oo.
Sa puso lang?
Oo.
Why? Why? How did you come
Because
to
I love
love the
Filipinos.
Philippines and the Filipinos?
Well, it all started with one of my good friends, Monet Lou.
I know Monet.
You know Monet?
Yeah.
Okay, he's one of my good friends.
Oh, is it Monet now?
Monet. You can call
Hi,
him whatever.
Monet.
Hi, Monet. Love you.
Love you too.
Yeah, so it all started with Monet. So I came from San Diego to LA for one night for a award show.
Yeah.
And he was there, met him, and I also met Alex Pineda that night.
I know Alex too.
You know, see, all the Filipinos, everybody knows each other in the Filipino
It is a
community.
pretty small circle. Yeah, you're right.
But that's what I love about Filipinos,
So
really.
you knew Monet, you knew Alex, yeah, and then?
And so became friends with them. I worked closely with the Filipino community in Los Angeles for many years.
Yeah.
And then Alex was having a birthday party in the Philippines, and he asked me to be his entertainment. So I went there, and now I've been back and forth to the Philippines probably around 20 times in the past 2.5 years. So,
More than me.
more than you, yes.
Speaking of that, so you are a classical, or you're a singer.
Yes, I'm a singer by profession. So I'm classically trained, and I trained in with George Gibson in DC, and he trained me up. And I used to do country music, and then I started doing classical music, and so he trained me in that. So I started doing more of like Bocelli, like Pavarotti.
Really?
Oh yeah, for the big numbers. And what I found is Filipinos really like ballads, and so
Yeah.
that's why I kept getting invited over to the Philippines to do
Yeah.
more and more concerts. And so then I just decided to learn a Tagalog song because Tito Martin Rivera, he's like, why don't you learn one of my songs?
Martin too.
Of course you do. Everybody knows each other. It's so
Hi,
funny.
Martin.
Hi, Tito Martin.
Tito, oh, you're young. You're young.
I'm very
He's
young.
not gonna like that.
I'm 16.
Yeah, one
Oh.
leg.
Well,
So, you went to the Philippines, and then did you know, like, who told you about that show, the contest that you joined?
well, I was getting calls from the network, and they kept asking me, can you join the show? Can you join the show? Do you know any Tagalog songs? I'm like, yeah, I know one.
So wait, the concept of the show is foreign people compete in singing Tagalog songs. Is that the concept
Yeah.
pretty much?
So basically, it's all foreigners. You can't have any Filipino blood. And
Oh, then you
yeah, so I fit the mold. But so I mean, there's people from Australia, there's people
Yeah.
from Pakistan,
Wow,
Korea,
really?
Russia, all over the place, America, and we just sang Tagalog songs.
So wait, who taught you your first song? I mean, John Gibson did teach you Tagalog, obviously.
No.
So how'd you do that?
Well, Tito Martin gave me the song to learn, and he gave me his -1 track so I could test it out, and then of course. I have friends help me along the way a little bit with the diction, how to say certain words right. I think Alex Pineda is probably the most.
Yeah.
He's like a diction Nazi when it comes to saying Tagalog correctly.
Right.
And I appreciate it because it helps me, portray the song the best way I could possibly
Okay,
portray
what
it.
song was it of Martin that you? So that was the first song that's the one you entered with in the contest.
Yeah. So it was Kahit Isang Saglit.
Oh,
So-
you know what that means, right?
Yeah, even for
But-
one more moment.
Oh.
And so it's actually I learned the true meaning of the song too not too long ago.
Yeah.
And man, it's a heartbreaking song. It really
It
is.
really
But
is.
that's how Filipinos like it.
And I wanted to bring that up. So not only do you have to learn the language, and then you have to learn the tune, right?
Right.
And then you have to learn what you're singing, like so that you can properly give feeling to the song.
Yes, giving the feeling to the song is probably the hardest part because I had to learn the songs. So I went on in the competition. Obviously, I placed in the top 4. So
And
I,
how many were there? Top 4?
There was, I think there was 60 to start with, and so we started with 60,
Wow.
and so there's, syempre, there's a lot of rounds, right?
Yeah.
And so I had to learn a song per round, and so sometimes I only had 4 days to learn a song,
Wow!
And so I had to learn the song, I had to memorize it, and so sometimes it's really hard to get the heart. It's like ram dum da ram dum, you know, you gotta feel that. And sometimes
Did you just hear that? Say it again.
Ram dum da ram dum. Diba? Is that okay lang?
Yeah.
Okay, sige. I was like, did I say it wrong? I'm like, bra-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum-da-dum.
Okay, listen, I'm not gonna let you leave this conversation without you giving me a little bit of sample of that kahit isang saglit.
Okay.
So when we come back, we're gonna hear a little bit of that voice from the great Ryan Gallagher.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of the child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
What planet are we living on? It's right here.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea.
Turn the lights and everybody look up.
Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
Why are homeowners talking about counselors from
NAAC? Well, because through NAAC and with the help of Faith Bautista, I'm now able to have a piece of America.
As a housing counselor, I will help you budget and get a clear picture of your finances.
I will help you understand your credit report and help you improve your score.
I will help you through your hardship and work with your lender to get a loan modification.
For free housing counseling, call 1-800-920-6248.
I'm with Ryan Gallagher. And Ryan, don't be humble. Are you a superstar now in the Philippines? Being Polish, like you said, Polish and Irish, now a Filipino superstar. Isn't that weird to hear?
Yeah, it's kind of weird to hear. I don't think I'm really the most famous, but I think I definitely gained some fans and some new friends being over there and doing the show. As far as being humble, I'm really not that humble. I'm joking though.
Yeah,
no, so
the great Gallagher.
No. So, being in Manila in different circles, it's the fans react differently, obviously.
Yeah.
So when you're in the provinces of provincia, Jensen, we went there. You couldn't even reach your hand out to touch some of these fans because they wanted to pull you over across the
touch your hair, kiss
I got
you.
kisses on the neck, everything, and so
lucky.
I felt like I was one of the Beatles for a little bit.
Exactly, that was I was thinking. I was gonna ask you, when you're there, like you said, you have this thing for the Filipino. Like, what do you love most about the Filipino? That you said you feel like you're a Filipino at heart. I just want to know.
Probably the thing that sticks out with me the most, because I've been going back and forth to the Philippines like we talked about, the sense of community and the sense of family there, even if you're not Filipino and you're a foreigner, they accept you like you're just one of the kababayans, you're just your family. And so that's something that's, for me, it was really cool and really interesting to see because my family lives in Michigan. So it's very much alike to the Philippines, but now I live in Los Angeles, and then that's not like the Philippines. So it's very kind of like you got to fend for yourself. And so when I went over there, it was like I was welcomed in. Hey, do you want to go to the movies? Oh, do you want to go out to eat? These people that hardly even knew me wanted to take me into their homes, wanted to take me into their lives, and now I have like family over there. So that's the one thing that probably means the most to me is that the sense of family, sense of community, but taking in a stranger, taking in a foreigner when you're in a foreign land, it's pretty cool.
How many songs did you have to learn aside from kahit isang saglit? Like how many songs did you have to?
I think 850. No, I'm joking. No, it seemed like it. Gosh.
Yeah.
Learn about, with the production numbers included, maybe about 15 songs altogether. And so, man, my brain was pretty fried. I had nosebleed every day when I was over there trying to learn the songs.
Really?
Because, you know, I can speak Tagalog, like konti lang,
Yeah.
but it's singing it every day and trying to understand what you're saying and trying to get the point across how you're saying it. It's tough.
Like you said, you were classically trained, so like, how does it, like the way to sing a Filipino song is different, right?
Yes.
Can you explain that to me again? 'Cause
So-
I'm not, I mean, I sing, like, you know, I'm the karaoke champion here.
No, I believe that,
And- yeah, right.
Let's go karaoke
so
later.
how's the difference again? That's why you were explaining how you had a hard time. Like,
Yeah, I didn't learn this till about the last 2 rounds, I think.
Yeah.
But when I was singing, I didn't realize that, because when you're classically trained, everything's it's long. It's like, so for instance, the last song I sang, Narito. So how I would typically say that word, Narito, would be Narito, Narito. But that's wrong. In Tagalog, it's wrong. So you gotta stretch your mouth out this way, so it's like, Narito, Narito. So it.
No one taught you though how to do this. You just figured it out on your
One
own.
of my friends.
Martin didn't coach you.
No, one of my friends. Who was it? Isa Calzado. She.
I know. Hi, Isa.
Hi,
I know
Isa. She texted me a name of somebody to meet with, and so I met with him.
Yeah.
And he kind of taught me how to do all this
How
stuff.
to do it. So it's the pronunciation,
Mhm,
the
it's-
way
it's
you
addiction.
open your mouth. It's different.
And I think that might have hurt me a little bit going
In the
forward in the competition
competition?
because I had such little time to learn the songs.
Yeah.
So I was so worried about actually learning the right diction. But I have to keep remembering Filipinos are more about the heart and not about how it sounds as much.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that
you look them straight in the eye and
Oh,
they
yeah.
just melt.
You gotta make them
Especially with
kilig,
those
diba?
eyes. What color are your eyes?
They change with the
What do you mean
kind of
they
with what I
change?
wear. Like sometimes they're blue, green,
Okay, so
gray.
what color is it in the Philippines?
Whatever you want it to be. No, no. It's like kind of like
No wonder you have a lot of fans.
like if I have like blue, then I'll be blue.
Oh,
but
it
since it's
changed?
gray, it's kind of like a gray
It
blue
is kinda
probably.
gray now.
Yeah, because the clouds. So it kind of reflects kind of whatever. That's weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Tell me,
But,
what's the best thing about joining that contest for you? And has it changed your life in any way? Now that you're,
Oh,
well, of course, you're a
syempre.
superstar now in the Philippines.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, anything you do, whether it's good or bad,
Yeah.
as long as you grow from it, it's a good experience, and that's how I, live. But this experience definitely was a good experience. It stretched me in ways I never thought I could be stretched. When I first started learning Tagalog songs, I thought they were really cheesy, really corny, because they're just so mushy, and so especially the ballads.
We're very sentimental.
But
yeah, we're very kind
As I got to know the Filipino culture and as I got to know people there and I actually got to talk to like the hotel receptionists and different people and get to know their hearts, it's like, oh, these people just sing exactly what they feel. And so it gave me a newfound appreciation for Tagalog songs because it's such a heart type of music. And
I feel very happy to have met you, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not letting you go till you give me a couple of those lines of there. Come on.
Ang puso kong ito na yung lumisan ka sa buhay ko kung kailan sumikat.
Your eyes are changing color. It's
Araw.
becoming red.
It's like mood eyes. So different types of the mood.
Oh,
Okay.
buddy.
Oh, buddy.
Nice to meet you, man.